Welcome, everybody, to episode 14 of Court Cousins. My name is Kyle. I'm joined in the studio here by my co-host, my cousin, Jason the Peach. We've got a great show here in this new space for you, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 14, we're going to check in with each other, see how each other's doing for our ROLO Check In. Right. Then we'll do our social media roundup, scour the interwebs for all your posts about our favorite team, the Orlando Magic. Peach will tell us what I learned in the last just few games here. We'll introduce a new segment. We hope you like it, called Guest Conference. We'll play a little starter, backup, and bench. And then it will be the return of the Court Cousins Championship, where Peach and I will vie for that beautiful golden belt. So before any of that excitement happens,
yes,
how are you feeling, Peach, for our ROLO Check-In?
Well, before I get to the ROLO Check-In, let me just say, based on that intro, which is fantastic, have mercy. And if you don't like any of the stuff we do in the show later, I'm sure you can just cut it out. And I've got the shades on at the beginning of the show here today because our future's so bright that we've got to wear shades here in the new studio. Pretty excited about this new studio, and it doesn't really reflect my ROLO Check-In, but before we get to it, I just wanted to say, this is awesome. What a great space we've created here. It's great to be in the same room with you on 3 cameras of action. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it.
Post-production is going to be weird.
It is.
We'll see how it goes.
Well, for my ROLO Check-In today, I've got this picture that I created myself last night while watching the game of Rolo. He is questioning, where is all my stuff? Right now, my stuff is either in a storage unit at your house or at your parents' house. And then you can see that he's clinging to the ball, which is life. That's me in the middle. And then there's a new city in Massachusetts that's kind of behind me there. And then the job search is reaching in. And there's a lot of stuff going on. If you've ever moved anywhere, especially if you're relocated to another city or state or something like that big time, there's a lot of stuff that comes with that. I think it's one of the most stressful things that they say it can happen to a human being. I do it about once a year, so I'm getting used to it. But it doesn't make it not hectic. But I have faith that, as you can see here, life is the ball, and he has a very, very good grasp on that ball. So it's not going anywhere. So it's not negative. It's just a little hectic. Yeah. Things will start to calm down as I start to remember where stuff is and replace my license and my debit card, which I lost along the way, which is not recommended if you're moving, by the way. But
you don't say.
All things aside, I've still got the ball. I've got possession. Probably going to get fouled and get to the line and hit both the buckets. So how are you feeling for your ROLO Check-In?
I can vibe off of that. I had the pleasure of helping you move from Boston. So
you're polite to call it a pleasure.
Hey, we kept it together, man.
We did.
We had some snafus, but we kept it together. My Rolo is on his back, not the reclined Rolo on the bench that we're used to. He's in the game. I don't know how he ended in this position. He's got Tyrese Halliburton and Davion Mitchell, the Kings version, going for the ball, but he's on his back. And the reason I chose this one is I'm beat, man. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Not in a bad way, though. Not in a bad way at all. It's just we did the move this past weekend. We've set all this up in the past couple of days. It's been a crazy just week at work and everything. And so, I'm that good exhausted where I feel like I've accomplished something. I'm feeling good and satisfied. I got back to playing ball, too, for like the first time in 2 years. And before we were recording this, I teach at a school, and I ran with the high schoolers, the high school team, and those young whippersnappers are fast.
Right.
All right. And these old legs aren't used to it. So I'm the tired Rolo, not the reclining, lounging Rolo, the exhausted Rolo.
All right.
But I'm excited for this show, man. I mean, how can we not be in this new space?
Only if something went wrong.
Knock on wood. All right. We're going now into the social media roundup. That segment where we scour the interwebs looking for your tweets, your posts that we find intriguing or hilarious about our beloved Orlando Magic.
No twats today?
No twats today. No, just tweets. Just tweets. For first, we got to talk about this, Peach. Biggest news in our Orlando Magic community. From Be Magic or Be Gone, Markelle Fultz will return on Monday against the Indiana Pacers. Woo! Just a nice shot of number 20 there. Boy, was I excited for this.
Yeah, when I saw this, I took a picture. I sent it to you. You didn't get the original, but that's a whole different.
Yeah, because you have a shitty
scenario.
Droid phone. Continue.
All right, so the Apple debate continues, but that's fine. Anyway, yeah, I was amazed when I saw that Markelle was coming back. The game, not the first game after the All-Star break, but the game after that, because I thought if he was coming back, he was going to come back right after the All-Star break. So it seems weird they tacked a game on. But the minute I saw this, I was like, man, we just talked about it on the show. I showed cards, trying to speak it into existence. Chalk another one up for the Court Cousins. We're predicting things. It's big time. Right now, I want to go on record and say the Orlando Magic are going to be in the NBA Finals in 2025
Okay.
I mean, hey,
I'll
we're
ride
speaking
that
things
wave.
into
Yeah,
existence.
let's do it.
Let's go.
Shit.
Let's
Why
aim
are we
for the
waiting
sky.
so long?
Let's
What
go.
the hell, dude?
Let's go.
You're a realistic speaker into existence, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
This one was just for fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had. I mean, it's just good to be able to see what all the Fultz is about.
We're going to talk a lot about Markelle later, so I'll just say I was ecstatic, over the moon, as I'm sure many of you were. It was just great to see him out there, even in the limited minutes. I mean, the camaraderie that we saw from the team, too, everyone coming in, wearing their Fultz jerseys, just to show that support. It's great to see the teamwork that has really gelled on this squad. So just happy to see the man back on the court healthy. Next, this one is also from the official Orlando Magic handle. They were killing it. I mean, they've got someone over there. If you want to come on the pod, we love to talk to you because you're doing a good job over there. Minus the one with the Terrence Ross. That was
early season.
That was early season.
Yeah, they were working out the kinks.
Everyone has to work out the kinks early season.
Sure.
So we have a Brady Bunch parody here. Tied a franchise record last night. 8 players in double figures. And in the 8 boxes, we got Kel, we got Franz, we got Gary, we got Mo Bamba, we got Cole, we got Wendell, RJ, and Suggs. Staying with the sitcom theme from our intro here.
Right.
You feeling like it's a happy family here on this team, on this Orlando Magic squad, Peach?
It wasn't that game because 8 players in double figures is always going to be a good game out there. And they played really well against the Pacers, and it was really good to see. Man, it was just everybody was sharing. You'll hear more about this and what I learned, but you love to see it. You love to see it. I mean, a lot of teams rely on 1 or 2 scorers to do the bulk of their scoring.
Yep.
That's not the kind of team we've built here, and this was really a good example of what our team is about. The 8 players in double figures got a healthy win against the Pacers.
I'll start with the good, and then I'll share my anxiety. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I love team basketball. Like, I really dislike watching those teams with the one guy who's going to put up, like, 45. You know, that's why I've never really enjoyed, like, the Harden teams or even the KD. Well, I mean, KD on the Warriors, that was crazy. But just those teams where there's a guy, you know, just one dude, you know, dribble, shoot.
Yep.
Not fun basketball. It's not enjoyable for me to watch. So I love the team that we're developing here. I like that everyone's getting a taste. Everyone stays engaged that way.
Right.
I think we'll play better defense that way if everyone's scoring the rock a little bit. This is my anxiety. And maybe some of you out there can share this trauma from the past. We've had these types of teams before. I remember the Oladipo, kind of Tobias Harris, Aflalo, Vooch teams, ambiguous, lots of, very balanced, Evan Fournier on there. You'd have kind of the same thing. 4 or 5, 6 guys, maybe scoring in double figures. And there were great games to watch. The problem lies in we still need a guy.
Yeah. And to get to the NBA championship.
Yeah. We still need, who is going to be, and we saw this a little bit, I think, in the recent loss, too. People were kind of confused. Like, everyone was trying to be that guy, but it wasn't really clear who was, going to bear the scoring brunt in the end there.
Yeah, and one guy has that mentality, but he wasn't successful.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too later. So that's just my slight anxiety. I think we're gonna have a great team, but in order to have that prediction come true, we do need a guy to elevate above the rest in a way.
Yeah, either a free agent needs to come in, we draft the next big superstar, or Franz becomes the man, or Suggs, or somebody else raises their game up to that next level. Yeah, you're right, to get over the hump and get past there. But to become a playoff team, this is a good
This is great.
This is good.
Yeah. I mean, with this core, we could solidly be in the playoffs for the next 3, 4, 5 years if everyone stays together.
No disagreement here?
Yeah. I'm going to let you, I'm going to step out on this one.
He's stepping out.
And I'm going to let you take this next post
All right,
for fear of my life.
So the views of Court Cousins are not necessarily the views of just me, the individual. I just want to put up a Cori appreciation
No, this
post.
is your views of just you as an individual.
Okay, it's just my views as an individual. This is the Cori appreciation post. She always looks cute and fashionable. She was at the All-Star game looking cute and fashionable, had all the shiny bling on, always representing the Magic. If you get a chance to watch the NBA TV games there, and you see her in between the quarters and stuff like that when they take a break, talking to fans and playing all the games, she's a great hostess, and if you get a chance to go to the game, you'll also see her there in action. And you know what? We haven't really talked about it on the show, and I just want to throw some appreciation because there are some really bad in-game hosts, and we've given a lot of love to our announcing team.
Yeah.
So let's give a little love to our in-game hosts, you know, because they are part of making this all go. We love stuff. We've talked about stuff. Let's give a nod to Cori.
Yeah, it's, you know.
What's up, girl?
It's all about her acumen and her engagement, right?
Right.
So, yeah, can you name our other male in-game host?
No. He's not always there, but he's a DJ and he hangs out.
He is a DJ.
He is there.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Next one. This is a Wendell appreciation post from the Orlando Magic handle. It is first just a GIF, whatever, of Wendell dunking on Bedić,
Goga Bedić.
Goga Bedić,
Yeah.
and just, as you said, ruining this man's life.
Like we just ruined his name.
Yes.
And maybe even worse. This play got me out of my comfortable seat on your couch last night while watching the game with my dad, who happened to be in town. And this is the kind of play that I want to see from Wendell. Actually, this is the kind of play I want to see from Mo Bamba.
True.
But I'm glad to be seeing it from somebody in a Magic uniform. And the way he just got the ball, bullied his way in, because that guy's soft. He's basically just a large pillow. And he just backed him down, dunked on him, and then that guy never came back in the game. Yeah. He completely ruined his night. So he was out for the rest of the game.
I wonder if Goga's going to play for the rest of the year. I don't know. Keep an eye out.
I'm sure he'll probably be able to recover at some point, depending on who team doctors are. If he was on the Magic, he'd probably be out 2 weeks. Yeah.
The last one, I apologize. I don't know where I found this. I'll dig it out and give you a shout out when I in post edit here. It is a sideline view of our new length down low. That sounded verbiage.
Potential.
Our new length down low. Potential length in the 4 and 5 spot with the wingspans of Jonathan Isaac, Mo Bamba, and Bol Bol next to each other. Just in case you're keeping track at home, Bol Bol's 7'8" wingspan. Mo Bamba, 7'10" wingspan.
It's ludicrous.
That makes me even more disappointed in his play.
Right, exactly.
And Jonathan Isaac at a measly 7 feet.
Still strong.
It's almost half of the whole sideline.
Yep.
Half of the court.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if the Orlando Magic brass right before the trade deadline saw a bunch of those pop-up videos for, hey, want more length? Do you need to get bigger? And then they were like, I've got it. Bol Bol. Let's get him. But this is an impressive stretch no matter how you get it.
Okay.
I doubt all three of these guys will be on the floor at the same time.
Hopefully
though.
not. I don't know.
But I guess if this somehow worked as defense, that would be good. But we all know that the game is played up here and not necessarily always here. I wish Mo Bamba could do more with that. Yeah, like you said, seeing the 7'10" on there made me go, "Ey."
I know.
How do you not average 10 blocks a game?
Does he have to jump if he's 7 foot? And then each arm, I suppose, would be about 3 foot. I mean, he should just be able to dunk almost flat-footed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of. It should just be a little hop.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It seemed like for a while our MO of our front office was just draft the longest guy. Like, let's get all the lankiest dudes possible here, and we're going to try to have this amorphous positionless basketball that's going to happen here. They kind of broke the mold when they took Cole, but I don't think anyone expected Cole to fall to 15, and so they just took him there. And, you know, maybe we're talk about a little bit if that may be hampering the defense a little bit later. So, yeah, we'll see how that length plays out. But it helped us maybe the last 2 of the last 3 games, I'd say. But not that third, Peach. You want to tell us what you learned in the last stretch here?
Yes. Speaking of long, this is going to be a short, what I learned here today. We had the All-Star break in there, so let me just tell you real quick. I'm just going to go through these real briefly. We've got All-Star Weekend Celebrity Game, awful. I mean, I didn't even recognize half the names in it. Like, they really were grasping at straws.
They're all influencers now.
They had somebody who's like one of those. What's the Peloton bike? They had like one of the Peloton instructors on there. It was like, well, is that a celebrity? Like, what are we doing?
The bar is low.
It was low. Normally, I've watched that game, and there's been some good stars. Kevin Hart. There's been some people in there. You know, but there was a few sort of householdy names, but like not many. Like, it really wasn't worth watching. Rising Stars game, good. Love the format.
Yeah,
thought it was a lot of fun.
That was a sick tournament. Yeah,
I thought it was great. Obviously, our 3 players were very prominent in this game, and then the skills contest I thought was fun. The way they kind of split it up, and the Antetokounmpo brothers.
That was cool.
Like, it was kind of fun. It was different. You know, it was different. 3-point contest I feel like was good.
Sure.
You always know what you're getting in the 3-point contest, but I like the Mountain Dew balls and the added.
That's becoming like the most popular thing with the explosion of shooting threes in the NBA. Like, that's what all the stars want.
And Karl Anthony Towns won it, which, you know, big man winning the shootout, which I should love, but I don't.
Oh, I didn't expect that from you.
Well, I don't want him out there. You're a big man. Be inside. You should be shooting threes.
You're right. Come on now. You're right. I know that about you too. Okay.
Then we got the dunk contest. Bad. Moving on. All-Star game. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. There is no defense. Guys are just running around. It's like, look, people paid or are trying to watch this game. It's play. I want to see you actually play. Like, no one playing any defense. Guys just shooting it from wherever. It's not that interesting to me. Like, all the other stuff about the All-Star weekend was much better than the actual All-Star game, which I watched like a couple of quarters, walked away, was packing some stuff. I stepped away. I don't remember seeing the end.
I mean,
it wasn't good.
Everyone talks about the end. I didn't watch it. Wasn't
interesting.
I was busy. When we have a guy in there, then sure, I'll probably watch.
I probably would have watched it. Yeah,
but I just wasn't interested.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you missed anything.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So now we move on to the last string of 3 games, and check this out. A winning record in this set of games.
Oh,
first time.
What's that?
almost had a awesome streak, but we'll get to that. So the first game up was a 119-111 win versus the Rockets. Big story in this one was Chuma with his career high of 26. He also added 9 boards. He had a great all-around game here. Wendell Carter also chipped in 24 and 12. The Rockets were in the lead for most of the first half. Then we just stormed out to the lead most of the rest of the way out there. Christian Wood, Jalen Green, Jayshawn Tate still look good for the Rockets. I feel like that's a good young core for them to build around. Yeah. They probably have similar vibes in their fan base that we do, where you're young, we're growing, and other draft picks coming in.
What about Alperen Şengün? What about Alperen Şengün, Peach?
What about him? I don't care for that guy. I feel like he didn't factor in as much in this game as he did in the last game against us.
Honestly, I haven't watched a lot, but when he's been playing against us, he hasn't been that impressive. I thought more of him. I still think he's going to be good. I think he was one of the youngest guys drafted. He's still like 19 or something crazy, and he's got great vision. The Rockets are building something there too.
Still a lot of upside on him for sure, and I think they did a great job, whoever scouted and figured out, let's get this guy in here. So the good future for the Rockets, but a bad day the other day as they lost to the Magic. So then we move on to another game where we scored 119 points, and the other team scored 103, so that's another victory against the Pacers. You love Jalen Smith.
I love being right.
So talk about him for a second, because I don't think a lot of people know about him. You mentioned him in our trade.
Yeah, well, no, I say I love being right because I mentioned him in our potential trades. So I wanted to see him, and I wanted to see him play well. I mean, he didn't jump off the screen. I mean, I thought he was playing
he
well.
jumped back into the locker room when they kicked him out.
That's true. I thought he was playing really well the first game before he let his temper get a hold of him.
Sure.
And I don't want a guy like that. So, but I just thought it would be a good guy to take a flyer on. I mean, again, Indiana got him for Torrey Craig, I believe,
Right.
who's like a guard, scoring 6 points. No disrespect, but
I think he's a forward.
Forward scoring 6 points. Yeah. So I disrespected him, but not even knowing what position he plays. But I just would have liked to get him onto the squad as opposed to Bol. I think he actually has a more refined game. He can, do something down low. And we saw he has some stretch in him too.
True.
Maybe a little bit too similar to Mo, but if we could have worked out like some type of sign and trade, he was already on his rookie scale contract. It's only his second year. So it would have been like a restarted Mo Bamba, kind of like a refreshed, low salary big to kind of take a chance on. Yeah. And that's why I was digging it. But he's an okay player. I think he'd be decent.
He showed that you were correct, I thought, in
wanting him for a ball of bags. Bag of balls.
Look, I'm going to say it because you told me to.
Okay.
When I see Rick Carlisle, all I see is Jim Carrey playing a guy who's recovering from cancer. Somebody stop me. And then Cancer's like, I tried to. But Jim Carrey wins. And everybody wins in the end. I don't know. No,
it's
Rick
comedy,
Carlisle's
people. It's comedy.
I also went the extra mile of Googling to make sure that there was no actual cancer involved with either man. But, sometimes jokes get a little dark, but they're fun.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Oh, that's good, man.
Anyway.
That's good stuff.
This is the game we had 8 guys in double figures. We outscored the Pacers 54-28 in the paint. That's a little bit of a tease for later. Wendell with 21 and 12. Suggs with 14 and 10 assists, which was nice to see. We took the lead in the second half here, and we cruised to this victory. It felt good. 2 games in a row. It's only happened one other time this season. And with another game against the Pacers,
we were on our way.
We're feeling good.
Yeah, on our way.
Feeling some sort of way. Because, when you hit that second one, they go, he's heating up.
Yeah.
And so we're thinking we're about to drop this third one through and be on fire.
Yeah.
But boom, shakalaka. It did not happen in this game. 122-114 loss in overtime to the Pacers. The difference in this game for me was Malcolm Brogdon being back for them. 31 points, 8 assists, 12 boards, just shy of the triple-double. He made a huge difference in that comeback. We had an 18-point lead that just disappeared in the fourth quarter. We were outscored 34-19 in that fourth quarter. Then 12-4 in overtime. That is 46-23 combined. If you're doing some math at home, kids, I'll save you the step. I also learned that Halliburton has a very punchable face. My dad definitely said a couple derogatory things in his region, and I already had that down before he said it. So clearly, he does have a punchable face.
There's a trend.
Yeah,
it's
other people have noticed.
It has been corroborated.
Right. I thought the call on Suggs and OT was awful. I know that's sort of like kind of the modern NBA, but it looked like Suggs had gotten fouled shooting a 3, and then instead they just decided, no, Suggs committed a foul, and it was like, what?
Oh, that's the one you're talking about.
That is the one I'm
talking about. I thought you were talking about the out of bounds.
Well, the out of bounds should be that was in regulation.
Right. That should be reviewable.
That should have been reviewable
why
as well.
Can't we get it right? That's
like in the NFL, everything under 2 minutes is reviewed because it's important to the game.
Yes.
Even in college basketball, I believe they will go check the monitors if there's a question about who the ball went off.
Yeah.
In the NBA, they're just like, well, you used your challenge. And it's like, ooh, but what about what's right?
Yeah.
Hey, NBA. What's up? Let me get in here. Come on. Let's get things right. All right. The bitchy ref was there, so we didn't have much of a chance against some of these calls. But anyway, Franz had 28 as a bright spot. Wendell, 18 boards. Bamba went for 19 and 12. He played really well in the first half, I thought, on both ends of the floor.
You made me eat my words a little bit, yeah.
So those, every once in a while he has one of those kind of games.
Yeah,
but he's played pretty well after the All-Star break, I thought.
We have played the Houston Rockets and the Pacers, so let's see in this next stretch how he does.
Well, so what I learned overall, the All-Star weekend needs help. Somebody send help, please. We also need to schedule more games against the Pacers, I think. Just seems like a good idea. As we discussed earlier, we are definitely going to be hitting everybody with that team mentality.
Right.
So if we have 5 to 8 guys in double figures, we can win games. If less, Probably not, because we're not always going to have that Franz going for 28 or somebody getting near 30 points a game. So that's not effectively the way this team can compete at a high level. And lastly, the one thing that I've learned that I think everybody already knows if you watch it there, Bally Sports needs to put the stats on the frickin' screen.
God.
There's nothing worse than a guy hitting a bucket, and then you're like thinking, why can't it just pop up real small there and tell me how many points and boards he has or something? And then even when the guys are at the free throw line, it's as old as time. That was like the first graphics they ever put up. When a guy's shooting a free throw, they'd put up like how many points he scored per game and all this.
Yeah.
Nothing. Just the score on the bottom and the time. That's all you get from Bally Sports. Up your game, Bally Sports. I'm not even going to come in tight like I did for the NBA. You guys just need to get your shit together. And that's what I learned. That's what they learned.
Yes, Beach, tell him.
An old man, his porch, and some words of wisdom.
You kids, none of you are following your shot. Everybody's taking a shot and then running back down the court, claiming that you got to get back on defense. But what about finishing your shot? Whoever shoots it up, they know where it's going to come off the rim. Go follow it, grab your rebound, and finish the play. Give some effort. All these times I see these guys taking a shot and running back. Some guys are just turning around. They don't even watch to see where the ball goes. Back in my day, we had guys shooting, following their shots, getting a rebound, the hoop and the harm. And that's the way we liked it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next segment is a new segment. We're calling it Guest Conference. This year, Peach, COVID restrictions still going on. No media in the locker rooms. We haven't really been able to hear from all the guys as much as we would like.
Yep.
So we decided we're just gonna ask them some questions and hear what they have to say. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, but we're not asking them all the questions.
Well, some people, some friends of the show are going to be
more broad conference experience.
Right, yeah. It's going to be a kind of a larger, that are going to be asking them these questions, some guest appearances, if you will.
I'm game.
Yeah. All right. So, I think I'm starting here. I'm going to be Coach Mosley.
Okay.
Yeah, and someone's got a question for me.
Coach Mosley, this is Jason from Court Cousins.
Oh, hey, Jason.
Hey, it's great to see you. You're doing a great job with the team.
Thank you, Jason.
You're doing a good job keeping everybody together out there.
Yeah.
Can you discuss a little bit what your rotations are? Because I feel like they were good for a while, and then COVID hit and everybody's rotations were out of whack, and then we really got back to a good place.
Right.
But now with the return of Fultz and everybody seeming to be healthy, it seems like they're a little wacky sometimes.
Yep.
We can't always expect the guys to come back in at the right time, and it may have cost us in that last game. What are your thoughts?
All right. Well, hey, Jason, can I call you Peach? Can I call you Peach, Jason?
You may.
All right, Peach, thanks. Love the show, man. But you got to end with the passive-aggressive stuff, okay? I know you're talking about the fourth quarter. I know you're talking about Admiral Schofield, all right? And that guy is busting his butt making bell plays in practice, all right? Yeah, ring that bell, all right? We're building a culture here, Peach. And I got to reward guys who are busting their butt for the team in practice. Everyone sees it. He's earning those minutes. And all those people out there that are criticizing, all right? We're a family here. We're family first. All right, Peach? And why don't you go and tell your redheaded ginger cousin that too? Family.
I will let my family know, Coach. Thanks. Big Schofield fan.
All right, first one. I think that went well. I don't know.
Yeah. Well.
All right. I'm next. I'm Mo.
Okay.
I'm Mo Bamba.
Oh, you're Mo Bamba.
Or maybe I'm Mo Bambi.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, let's see.
Shaquille O'Neal, TNT basketball, and Papa John's pizza. Hey, Mo Bamba. How you doing, big fella? Listen, I want to know if you heard what I told your boy Cole Anthony at the All-Star game, because I just wanted to see if you were going to start to change your style of play. You played a little bit better in the last 3 games. I wonder if you could just talk on that real quick.
Yeah, Shaq. Well, thanks for the advice, man. I love your game. Appreciate you. Magic Center is great, man. I'm trying to get my feet under me. I'm playing well. I'm trying to read the game. I appreciate the coach and everything I'm being given, all the opportunities. I'm just trying to step up. You know, I don't appreciate how people are always saying I'm lanky for no reason. People call me Mo Bambi. I can hear that. I can hear that, y'all. All right? And I don't like it. All right? You see that dunk I did last game? All right? I'm going to come hard. I'm going to start coming harder, Shaq. I can hear you, buddy. I just need you to come through, maybe teach me a couple post moves, teach me how to break a couple backboards, and we'll be ready for the home stretch here in the end of the season. So thanks, Shaq. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, you're welcome. We like to see a young player learning from everybody around him. If you want to get down in the post with Shaq, we can do it. Follow-up question. Have you had a Shaq-a-roni yet?
Oh, Shaq, they're my favorite. I get 2 after every game.
Absolutely. Love Mo Bamba. Shaq loves Mo.
I don't think that's at all how Mo Bamba talks. You did a great. I don't know.
I almost lost it.
I was like, why am I doing like a high pitched voice
why
here?
Is it so high pitched?
I don't know.
Like, should I pick on it?
I don't know.
No, I'm just
Okay, they'll get better, folks.
Yeah.
This is a work in progress.
Oh,
all right, we
man.
said new segment. All right, all right. Next one. You're Cole. You're gonna be
Okay.
Cole,
All right.
and I'm calling up. Hey, Cole. How's it going? How's it going, son?
What's up, Pop?
Yeah, it's Papa Greg here, Papa Greg Anthony, and I'm just calling, man, because just how do you feel that last game went? You know, fourth quarter, you had the ball in your hand, kind of just dribbled a lot, just dribbled into the corner, and then kind of the shot clock went off. What was going on there, son?
Well, Pop, I don't know if you heard, but I'm money, man. And it was money time. So it was time for Cole Anthony to take the ball and do what Cole Anthony does. I didn't see anybody else stepping up saying, I need the ball right now. So Cole Anthony had the ball, and that's what Cole Anthony really loves the most. You know that, Pops.
Yeah, and apparently you love speaking in the third person now? I got to knock you down a peg, son. What's that all about?
Well, sometimes I like to speak in the third person. You never know. If I'm talking to Dante, sometimes it's a little different. But you know how it is, Pops. You're creating a brand. I'm not just Cole Anthony, the man. I'm a brand now. I'm Duncan and Tim's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm doing things. I'm getting myself out there. I'm putting dreadlocks on the map again. Let's go.
Love you, son. You're making me proud.
Love you too, Pop.
That was nice. That was heartwarming.
Yeah.
I like that. You did a hell of a job, too.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. I'm excited for this last one.
Okay. This is Jason Pichet from Court Cousins.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Jeff Weltman here. How can I help you, Jason?
Yeah, Jeff. You don't speak to the media that often, so
Right,
I feel
yes.
like I have to ask you 25 questions in just this one, which is a daunting task, folks.
I've got 2 minutes, Peach.
Okay, fair enough. Jeff, what the hell, man?
Peach, great question. Thanks for the question, Peach. Clearly, I am just much, much, much more intelligent than you. I'm not sure if you've seen the size of my cranium, but I just clearly have such a larger brain than you that you probably can't understand the moves that are happening here. You're seeing checkers. I'm playing chess, Peach. Okay?
Maybe you're playing 3D chess,
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah. Okay. I'm playing chess in the metaverse, Peach. I'm playing virtual reality chess that nobody has even seen before. And yeah, we held out Jonathan Isaac and Markelle Fultz for an inordinate amount of time. And yeah, I'm not telling you peons out there what's going on with Jonathan Isaac. Why would I lower myself to just the common folk that are fans of the Orlando Magic? I'm simply too big brained for that, Peach.
Jeff, really what this is about is I'm just wondering.
30 more seconds, Peach.
Have you invested in the U.S. military, and is that why you're so into the tank?
Yeah, I don't like that term, Peach. We've got a great group of guys here, really good guys, just all around good young men. And you're insinuating, Peach, that these young men aren't capable of winning. I don't call it tanking, Peach. I call it creative win-losing. All right, because I've got the end game in mind. And Peach, I'm sorry, my time is up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No more time for questions. Bye, everybody.
Okay, fair enough. I learned that there's a way to win-lose, so that's what I got out of this. Thank you, Jeff.
Well, what'd you think about that, Peach? That was kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't really prepare any of those. Maybe.
Well, I think
next
that's sometimes the beauty, but you
Yeah.
need some talking points. I know
Yeah.
you got to have some stuff down.
Well, I have some stuff down for the next segment.
Okay.
All right. So I'm ready to go. And we're back. You won't know it looking at home, listening at home, but we did have a little bit of a snafu here, new studio. The show was amazing, Peach.
So good, so nice. We're doing it twice.
We got through the show. Fantastic. All segments done. Probably the best show ever. And then realized when we looked at our audio recorder that we only had 45 minutes of audio and we had an hour and a half or so of video. So, yeah, here we are again.
Yeah, I had to change hats because I'm still in full uniform because I like to commit. But it's cold up here now, so
We are in an attic.
toque.
It's the magic attic.
Yeah.
All right. And so it is a little chilly. The heat doesn't get up here. But let's heat it up again.
I'm ready.
Okay. We're going into starter, backup, and bench, ladies and gentlemen. In this segment, we're going to present each other 3 options, and we're going to have to essentially rank those things in most to least starter, backup, and bench, depending on the prompt. So, Peach, an often talked about and lately talked about topic now is our backcourt. You know, since the beginning of the year, there's been the talk of the logjam at backcourt, and now with Fultz coming back, it's actually here.
Sure.
So I present to you starter, backup, and bench, our backcourt, Cole, Suggs, and Markelle Fultz.
That's the order. I think that's the order right there. It's Cole, Suggs, Fultz for me. Fultz, I've only seen 2 games so far, so that's not enough to go on. And if we're talking about a game that's going to be played tomorrow on Friday as we record this, that's the order I want them in. I think Fultz is not ready maybe to do full time yet, but he will be soon probably. But that's the order I go in. I go Cole, Suggs, Fultz until proven otherwise. And if you said this at the end of the season for next year, maybe my answer would be a little different. But it's starter, backup, bench, assuming we're going to go play a game right now.
That's who you
where
want.
I'm going.
Okay. All right. I guess I'm interpreting it a little bit differently.
All right.
My starter is going to be Markelle Fultz. I've seen enough, even in the 15 minutes, averaging 10.5 points, 4 assists, 2.5 rebounds, 77% Peach from the floor. And you're
Strong.
putting him on your bench.
2 games.
Yeah, that's true. Very small sample size. 2.5 turnovers. That's got to get better. But also 25 deflections per 36 minutes. That's put some tops in the league. He's playing good defense in just these 2 big games. So I trust in our commander here. He's our general. He's our floor general. He guides the ship. How many other analogies can I use to say that he is the best distributor and the best playmaker on the team right now? I want the ball in his hands, so he's going to be my starter. Now, I come into a bit of a quagmire with the Suggs and the Cole debate.
Giggity.
Giggity, giggity. All right. If you're asking me in a vacuum, and I know you love vacuums.
I love vacuuming.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of it the past week.
This is weird. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone because we just did this like an hour ago. And some of the same jokes, they're hitting a little differently, though. It's going to be good.
They're still funny.
They're still funny. So
I love to suck. That's really all. That's not
in
weird.
a vacuum,
Yeah.
in a vacuum,
It's not weird.
if I'm comparing these two just kind of talent-wise, I'm going to take Suggs first and then Cole, which is disappointing to me, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But I just like what I see from Suggs in terms of his play. He's been getting to the hoop a lot more.
Right.
He's and his defense really is what it comes down to is the defense. He's 26th in the NBA in deflections.
Right.
So he's really getting to passing lanes. He's really disruptive. And I think once he's earned some street cred in the league, he'll start getting more calls at the hoop.
Okay.
Now,
I was going to say, there's no 3-point shooting in this squad.
right. Yeah. That's where I'm going. Right. So if I'm not in a vacuum and if I'm choosing these starter, backup, or bench for my actual team as my actual rotation, I can't have Suggs and Fultz next to each other because there's no shooting. I mean, the defense could play zone and sink to the free throw line. Suggs in his last 5 is shooting, get this, Peach, 11% from 3. Markelle Fultz, a lot of people were commenting out there, he had a wide open 3 last game and passed it up. Didn't go for it. So, I mean, he's a mid-range assassin. He's getting to his kill spots. I love that phrase. But there's no shooting there. So, if you're asking me who's my starter, backup, and bench in terms of my actual rotation, I'm going to say Fultz and Cole. And then, so Fultz would be my starter, Cole would be my backup, and then Suggs would be my bench. That's how I would roll with it. So, it would change depending.
I mean, I get what you're doing there, but I just feel like Cole and Suggs are too much of a leader personality when they're on the court, and I don't quite see that from Fultz yet. He doesn't seem like he seems like the kind of guy that leads with his actions more than his words. So, I mean, I'm not trying to like speak ill of Fultz. I've only seen 2 games. I'm sure at some point I will feel like he should be the starter. But I think because of Cole and Suggs' leadership, and I definitely want Suggs to get more minutes and keep improving, that's why I did the order the way I did. I like I go by the letter of the law in this game. You know?
Okay, yeah, I know you. Yeah, you stick to the guidelines, and I respect that about you, gentleman and scholar. So from talking about who we want in to now who's on the way out of the rotation, with Fultz again coming back, the logjam is real. There's a lot of guards now, a lot of mouths to feed. Who is out of the rotation? Starter, backup, and bench. R.J. Hampton, Terrence Ross, or Gary Harris? What say you, Peach?
Well, I have to look at them like they're in a vacuum because that's what I love. You know, it's RJ has just been shooting so well lately. I think he must have been the obvious answer for falling out of rotation and falling into the Iggy Brasdegas spot, being an and one guy off the bench. But man, the way he's shooting, and he's figured out this is my role, this is what I'm going to do, and he's done it well. So he's earned the minutes. T. Ross, not playing as well lately, got that technical foul in the last game. It was just like, you're supposed to be one of our vets. We expect a little more from you on that. And Gary Harris, you didn't even notice, played. He's just kind of like, he hasn't played as well as he did beforehand, but I think he still can. So for me, I've got to go RJ as the starter right now, and then Harris as the backup, and then T. Ross on the bench. And let's be honest, T. Ross loves coming off the bench, so I think he's going to be fine there. Harris is still going to be valuable as a defender, I think. And, you know, RJ, we're still kind of learning about him too. He fits the mold of this team, but lately, what I've seen from the past 3 games, I'm thinking, yeah, I want him setting up, shooting open threes. He's doing it. So
the way that you're interpreting this is the starter is the person that's least likely to be out of the rotation, and the bench, the way you just said it.
Oh, sorry.
Because you said T. Ross on the bench. No, that makes a lot of sense, because if you're on the bench, you're out of the rotation.
Right.
All right. So, you know, I'm sadly having to agree with you. Torch is on the bench, which is, I did not expect that. I thought he was going to be one of our go-to scorers. I remember one of our first episodes this year. I think we did a Court Cousins challenge where I did something like, you know, games over 16 or 20 points or something crazy that he didn't even come close to. Like, I really thought Terrence Ross was going to come out of the gate as our number 1 scorer, as a number 1 threat, still maybe off the bench, but like could really fill it up. And for some reason, he's just been struggling this year. I know he had some back issues.
Games where he's lit up, but yeah, it's very sporadic, and you can't bank on it.
Yeah, and he talked about like having those back issues on his podcast, on which again, he doesn't have a microphone on his podcast. Terrence, I know you're a big fan of the show. Can you please? This is a $60 microphone. Last time I checked, you're making like $16 million a year. We got extras, bro. We'll send them to you. I'm an audiophile. It's tough for me to listen because he's just speaking through his crappy computer speakers. But it's always a great listen. He loves conspiracy theories, and of course, he talks a lot about the magic.
But magic conspiracy theory?
No, not that deep.
That's kind of what we do.
Yeah, yeah. Get out of our lane, all right, Terrence. Don't come for us. So, with the way he's playing and the lack of a microphone on his podcast, he's definitely on my bench. I think he's out of the rotation right now, sadly, which is I could not believe. Gary Harris is going to be my backup.
Right.
Like you said a moment ago, I had graduate school for the first half of the last game, and I came back and I said tonight before we started doing the pod, like, did Gary even play? Like, I don't recall him getting minutes, and it was sparse. And
Well, our bench as a whole did not play fantastic, especially
Yeah.
in the second half, which is where you came in.
Right.
And that's kind of where things got away.
Yeah. But it's just surprising to me that Gary is out of the rotation so much or getting less minutes, because I don't think a lot of times players play their way into that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Gary has played almost one of our most consistent players with Wendell Carter Jr. Those two
Up
lately,
until the All-Star break. No,
yeah. I
disagreements,
knew what I could depend on for Gary. He was going to knock down that corner three every time. If he touched it there, it was going in. He was doing nice things off the dribble, and he's playing fantastic defense.
Yep.
So it's a little bit of an enigma to me that he's getting less minutes. I guess the easy answer and the obvious answer is that Weltman, who we heard from with his huge cranium playing 3D chess,
Yep.
is maybe pushing for those younger guys, and that makes sense because we don't know. Gary Harris could be on a loaner essentially for the next couple months, and then he could be gone. So he's on an expiring deal, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I've been pretty heavy in the RJ doubt, and even a little bit of the RJ haterade I've been bevving on. But he's going to be my starter. He's in the rotation now solidly for the points that you brought up a moment ago. He's actually our best spot-up shooter right now. And I think with Markelle coming back and then Suggs and Cole, now there's enough ball handlers on the team where RJ doesn't have to have that responsibility anymore.
Agreed.
And I think that's where he was struggling. And now that he doesn't have that responsibility, he can do what is more adequate, more geared to his skill set, cutting, spotting up, getting on the fast break, out in space. That's where he's going to be deadly, and I think there's a great role for him. I am surprised because I didn't see where his game was going to fit, but it really does seem to be doing so now.
Agreed.
I'm bummed that we didn't get our ball handler and most growth joke in.
We did have a better joke.
Yeah, we did have a better joke. But
I started laughing uncontrollably.
Yeah.
Because I looked down, saw it, and I just started to giggle. And then you were making a point, and I wasn't laughing about it at all.
Yeah. Because we're going from ball handlers now to most growth.
Right.
And so who do you think, Peach, has had the most impressive growth this season for you? Starter, backup, or bench? Chuma, Franz, and Wendell.
I can't believe Court Cousins isn't on this because we've grown just so much.
Look at us.
Yeah. But that's okay. I got to work within the, as you know, I am handed a book, a coloring book, and there are lines, and I color inside. So Chuma, Franz, and Wendell. Well, for me, this is one of those ones where I think I'm trying to not let the shock value or like surprise growth affect it and focus on the impressive growth. For me, I'm going with Wendell first. I feel like he's obviously been our most consistent player, especially inside, which I love. You can bank on him being around a double-double every night, which should be a given at, a big man inside doing things. And he's starting to play with a lot more, here I come. And you knock my glasses off, I'll get a new pair. I don't care. I'm coming. I mean, he played like 5 minutes without goggles the other night. He's throwing caution to the wind.
He's going crazy.
Unbelievable. Whew, his cardias were just out there. Anyone could have touched him. Anyway, but for me, I don't know. I knew Wendell was a maybe, and I wasn't sure. Remember, we talked. Is it going to be Wendell or Mo Bamba? Who's going to arrive? It seems ludicrous, like we said last show, to think about that now. But for me, I really honestly thought it was up for grabs. So the fact that Wendell's risen to what he has, that's the most impressive to me. Second for me has got to be Franz, because I got to admit, even though I'm wearing the 22 right now, when I heard his name called on draft night, I was like, mostly because I don't like Michigan, but I just didn't really know who he was or what he had done. I guess maybe I had not seen a lot of Michigan games. I didn't think he was going to become what he is. I don't think a lot of people did. Someone in the Magic front office who scouted that out had an idea. Yeah. But
Weltman's
even as he joined the team in the early stages, it just didn't seem like he was going to be what he is. And I think he's going to go even further. So his growth's impressive, but he has further to go. And this is no slight on Chuma, who ends up on the bench in this scenario for me, because he's played really well lately, but he hasn't been consistent this year. He plays well in a little spurt.
True.
This is a good little spurt. Will he continue it? I don't know. You'd love to see it. I want him to continue to play like he's been playing the last 3 games. I just don't know if he will. I love the confidence he's shown lately. When he gets the ball, he just chucks it. He doesn't think about it. He's just going. And I like him being in that mindset, so hopefully it continues. But it's not more impressive than Franz and Wendell for me. Where do you land?
I mean, I agree with you on that point. Chuma, I've been a Chuma, as the kids are saying, stan, which I the etymology. May I please have the origin of the word, please, sir?
Yes. What is it?
Yes. I believe it comes from. This is what the kids are telling me. It comes from like the Eminem song, like Stan, the Ultimate Fan.
I remember that's a while ago.
He
yeah.
Doesn't he? There's some murder in there or something.
Well, he's an Ultimate Fan. It gets a little weird, but I mean,
it gets
he's
a little
into
weird.
It.
Yeah, I just didn't think that would be a poll that the kids would be using. That was 20 years ago. Almost,
yeah, I mean
the
kids are the kids shouldn't be. They're pushing P now, and they're doing all kinds of other.
I don't know what that is either.
It's a thing. Look it up after the show.
All right. Well, cool. Yeah. So I've definitely been on the Chuma bandwagon. You, sir. We're doubting. I told you all along. I told you all along. And in the last 10 games, he's averaging 10, shooting 38.5 from beyond the arc, 5.5 rebounds, 2 steals. He's in the top 50 in the league in deflections, almost a block a game as well. This is what we expected from him. A solid role player, 3-and-D, true 3-and-D guy. It sucks that he's on the bench on this in terms of most growth, but this is kind of what we expected. We saw some of this from Chuma last year. We expected big things from him. So it was honestly a little disappointing in the beginning of the year when we weren't getting that.
Okay.
So this is more just like, this is what I expected of Chuma.
Okay. So we had different expectations for his play.
Right. So now where I disagree though, is Wendell is going to be on my bench. Or no, he's going to be my backup. I apologize.
Okay.
He's going to be my backup. And no slight to Wendell. I mean, he is crushing it right now. He's taking it up to another level. 17.5 points, 11.5 boards per game in the last 10, 28 double-doubles in 53 starts this year. He's becoming he's the most consistent player on the Orlando Magic right now. So I can't speak highly enough about Wendell, but taking the starter position for me has got to be Franz Wagner, the Wunder Kid, our German Hammer, the Rookie of the Year, yes. One of only
the
5.
NBA won't allow.
Well, no, because they want their golden boys, Cade Cunningham, to get it. Although Evan Mobley's got something to say.
I saw
about
a post today by Sportsnet or one of the big ones that was asking like, "Who's your Rookie of the Year at this point?" And I went into the comments as I normally do if I go into the comments on something to find the answer I like and then just like it. Yeah. Could not find anybody mentioning Franz Wagner, so I mentioned them.
Yeah,
I did what I rarely do, and I commented on a big post and I said, "The answer is Franz Wagner," and the rest of you can come back to this post and apologize to me later. But it's probably because they're not watching him. They're not seeing him.
I mean, I don't blame them. But we know. He's in the rookie ladder discussions constantly, at least in that top 5 poll for sure. 15.5 points per game. No longer leading rookies, but still very solid. I think he's second place in terms of points. 4.6 assists, 4.6 rebounds, 3 assists. Just doing it all. I mean, off the dribble. We were talking about it last night. He shot really well from beyond the arc. If he can continue to do that, that's dangerous because he has some nice off the dribble moves, and he's so big with that hook off the glass with either hand.
Yep.
That is near impossible to defend. So if he can keep feasting on that in the paint and then have that 3, people are going to have to watch out. And I think Franz is the only guy. I mean, we talked about it last episode. We think Wendell can be an all-star for sure, but Franz could be that elite guy.
Absolutely.
That top
guy. When I said Wendell last show, I thought for sure you were going to follow with Franz.
Yeah. No, I know you're surprised by that. I don't even remember who. Oh, I said J.I. That's right. But the thing why Franz is my starter too in terms of most impressive growth is because also of the expectation level. When we saw him in Summer League, a lot of Magic fans we were still kind of scratching our heads. I mean, we were patient about it. We were saying, all right, we'll give him a chance. But
some were.
Yes, that's true. But he didn't look very impressive in those games. But as we're kind of learning, those type of pickup style games where there's not really a team chemistry and plan in place, that's not where Franz thrives.
No.
But he thrives in the NBA. He thrives in, a model, a role. And just going from that where I was kind of wondering, who is this guy? Not very impressed with Summer League to where he is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Those are worlds away.
Yeah.
Talking about him as our potential superstar. So that's why he is solidly my starter for most impressive growth.
I mean, yeah, I could argue either way on that one. So I'm with you. I think somebody someday is going to look back at this draft class and realize that there was a lot more talent there than we thought in this current year.
That's very true, man. This is a really good draft class.
It is.
So on the other side of the coin, unfortunately, Peach, are some players.
Coin's got to have two sides, man.
It's got to. It's got to. Other shoe has to drop. Other side of the spectrum. Two sides to a tail. Double-edged sword.
How many more is it got to do? Put a counter out.
How many more analogies? Shit, I'm all out. We have the starter that you are most frustrated with, Peach. I'm giving you Bamba, Cole, and Jalen. So are we doing starter most frustrated?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think magically when we type up a script, you see, and we kind of look at it so we know what we're looking at. I think, again, you, for me, have nailed this with the way that you've written it out here. But I'll explain why. First, let's just get Jalen out of there. He's a rookie. He's missed a lot of the season already with the broken thumb. He's showing improvement when he's out there. So, like, I get it. He's a rook. I'm totally fine with it. So just for those reasons alone, I'm done talking about it. We've talked about his issues. He's not perfect, but he is a rookie who has not even played a full season. So he's definitely on the bench. For backup, it's got to be Cole. I still feel like he's a great leader of this team, and the guys really like him, but he does do things every once in a while, dribbling around crazy, out of control, and sometimes his thirst for the ball, I've talked about it before, like why he was grabbing a lot of rebounds for a while. He just wants the ball so bad that he figures if I grab the rebound, then I just have it now, and I don't have to get it from somebody else. I can just take it and go wherever I want. And it's sometimes he's overzealous, and two of our own guys go for the ball, and it's sort of like you got to yield to the big men sometimes. Let Mo Bamba and Wendell get those rebounds. That's what they're there for.
That is frustrating.
Like, you just stand back. They can hand you the ball, and then we'll dribble up the court. Like, it's a thing. So that's probably one of the most frustrating things for me. Other than that, I know he's a little sporadic. As you taught me earlier. Spasmodic. Okay, sorry. As I thought you had taught me, but I guess I forgot. But I know that's who he is, and I made my peace with it. I understand every once in a while he's going to come down and gun, and I'm going to go, oh, and then sometimes it's going to go in, and I'm going to be like, all right, and sometimes he's going to miss, and I'm going to be like, oh, I just shoot that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've already made my peace with that,
offense.
so that's why he's definitely on the bench for me. For me, it's Bamba, and you know you've said a lot of things about Bamba, so I'm not going to go down this hole again, the rabbit hole, because I don't want any Bambi mentions here. But for me, at your size and your should be strength, we saw how much he had worked out and how thick he was.
7'10" wingspan.
7'10" wingspan, and yet you can't out-rebound and outscore the guy on your own team who's also underneath Wendell. And I don't think Wendell's taking things away from Mo. Mo could just as easily have had that stuff before Wendell even joined our team.
Yeah.
So, like, I know he's kind of more of a stretch four, but, man, in that body, he should just be doing so much more. And you know what? He's still a pretty damn good player. He's still a starter in the NBA.
Yep.
But for me, I'm most frustrated with that because I just like to think that if I had, and I think a lot of people probably out there would echo this same sentiment, right? Like, we may not say it out loud because it sounds weird to say, but if I was in that frame, I would be a dominant all-star NBA player. That's what we all think. Now, it's not as easy as it sounds, but like to have that frame puts you ahead of everybody else. And I think whatever's going on there, I think, I don't know. Hopefully he straightens it out. Hopefully this is to Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay.
Where are you at?
I'm agreeing with you with the bench. I'm putting Jalen on the bench. He's a rookie. I try to temper my expectations of rookies. It's his first year. He's filling out the NBA, especially coming into the point guard role. That's difficult to do. So, I'm happy with what I see from Jalen. He's definitely getting better as the year is going on. There's stops and starts. I think before the All-Star break, he was doing a much better job of not running with reckless abandon into the lane and not having an exit strategy. And he was getting to the hoop a little bit more. These last few games, he's showing some of the old habits a little bit. But again,
He played really well in the first half last night.
True. All right.
On both ends of the ball.
All right. So I'm the least frustrated with him because he's a rookie. I don't expect too much out of rookies, even the number 5 pick. This one maybe surprised you the first time. Second time we're recording it might not be a surprise.
I can act surprised.
Okay. It's going to be a surprise to everyone out there.
Yeah.
Because of all the Bamba talk that I've had, what I've put on his name, the disparaging comments.
Yes, Mo Bamba's mother is not.
Yeah, she's not a fan of the pod. But I'm going to put him as my backup.
Okay.
And maybe it's just because I think my expectations were in line for Mo this year. I didn't expect very much of him. I know we did talk about the WCJ versus Bamba at the beginning of the year, but we both came down on the WCJ side pretty firmly. You know, I thought Steve Clifford was a really good coach, and if for some reason he wasn't seeing anything, and Kem Birch, by the way, was earning minutes over Mo Bamba,
right?
There's an issue there. You know, even if he doesn't see eye to eye with the coach,
right? There's
something not quite right in terms of his growth and development. So I think he is pretty much where I thought he might be. You said, you know, he is a damn good player starting. I don't know if he's a starter. He's a starter on our team. I think he's a solid backup big, right? He's a very good backup big in this league.
Yeah.
And a very good player. He could play for a long time. I'm not that frustrated with him. He's where I thought he was.
Right.
I'm most frustrated with Cole, man.
See, that doesn't really surprise me. I think I remember now not being that surprised, because I know Cole's driven you crazy from the preseason.
That's true. That's true. But, I mean, he shut me up at the beginning stretch of games.
He did.
I mean, that first quarter of the season, he was shooting 52% from the field, effective field goal percentage. That's unbelievable.
Right.
But as of now, he's 126th in the league in terms of his assist to turnover ratio. That's not great. That's not what we want in our starting point guard.
Right.
You know, he's averaging pretty solid points. But the thing that frustrates me the most is what Cole said his focus this year was going to be was his defense. He said coming into the year that that's really what he was focused on trying to improve.
Yep.
Which took me aback a little bit. But I think he's being exposed a little bit in terms of defense, especially at the end of games, now that he's not hitting those shots to make up for some of those lapses on the defensive end. I don't think it's all his fault. We've talked about this before. I don't know what we're doing in our defensive schemes, but why are we switching on absolutely everything? It seems like every other play, Cole is getting pinned in the paint with their opposing forward or center, and it's just not good news for him.
Yeah, usually teams will switch once in a while, or like if you're struggling to catch up and they set the pick, then you switch because you can't stay with the guy. But like, I don't know, where are the lockdown defenders that are like, this is my man, I'm taking pride in that, I will cover him all game, I will only ask for help if necessary. And it seems like there's way too many possessions where Cole ends up guarding a big and Wendell's out on a point guard. And it's like, you know, look, Wendell can kind of stop him from going by, but he might not stop him from shooting over him. Like, it's a whole thing, man. It's very strange.
It's frustrating. I don't think we have the personnel to be doing that right now. This is not that type of team. And again, maybe I would overlook it if he was if the rock was falling for him on his shot. But you know, him dribble at the end of regulation last night that his pops was talking to him about on guest conference segment, that was really frustrating. I felt like he was just kind of looking for his shot, looking for his own shot, and there was nothing there. We had a shot clock violation, I believe.
We could tell that from where we were, and we weren't even in the building. Like, you could just see he had it, and it was like, he's pounding the ball.
He's gonna
trying to do something.
Yeah. And I mean,
didn't look like they were running much of a play.
No.
There was one pick and roll attempt. Something got covered. Yeah.
That was frustrating.
It wasn't a great play.
He is my starter. I'm very frustrated with Cole. I'm not saying I'm not confident he can bounce back. He can. He will. He's going to be a great player for us. But I think with this shift, maybe he's just I think everyone's maybe shifting a little bit right now, figuring out their roles, and Markelle coming back. So it's a tough time, especially for him, who's been our lead guard, and maybe seeing his duties change significantly.
And the only person who hasn't had their world shifted or affected much is the one guy who's our most consistent player, Wendell Carter Jr.
True.
So
True.
he doesn't worry about anybody coming back and stealing his minutes. He
Yeah.
knows what he's doing, and he's doing it well.
Franz has been secure too, and if J.I. ever plays basketball again, we will see. All right. Well done. Well done on that starter, backup, and bench. Next, we are bringing back. It's that time again. Ladies and gentlemen, coming at you live from Bridgeport, Connecticut, the Court Cousins Championship. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you see that golden beauty. That is the Court Cousins Championship belt, which every episode Peach and I vie for. We have 2 episodes per round. We're in the middle of a round right now.
Yes.
And before the All-Star break, we had our first round of Series 5. We're in 5.1 now, so this is round 2. And we are tied at 2.
Yep.
So I need to take this 3-1 in order to reign victorious.
That's how it works to be the man. Woo! You got to beat the man.
See, this is kind of messed up, though, because I know all the bets that you took last time. And
I already wrote them down, so
No.
we got to take them.
Can I change my shit, though?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
I wrote it down on the pad. This
I
happened.
don't
This
know.
happened earlier. We
I
had to
don't
stick
know.
to it.
I don't think it did. That's farcical.
I think it changes the way we go about it because we don't really need to discuss it quite as much.
Okay.
But yeah.
So the way this works is Peach and I give each other 2 wagers. Essentially, we make up our own kind of bets on our beloved Orlando Magic. We each choose a position.
Yeah.
And then we dole out the points based on who wins based on the position.
We pick something we want to bet on. We set the line.
Yeah.
That's right. DraftKings and
Yeah,
FanDuel.
FanDuel, you
Suck it
bastards.
or don't suck it and sponsor us. I don't know.
All right, so I've got some Markelle Fultz themed wagers for you, my cousin Jason. I'm feeling with the return of Markelle,
Yep.
he is going to direct the offense. Things are going to run a little smoother. Throw some WD-40 on those squeaky wheels or this squeaky chair. And our assists are going to tick up, sir.
Okay.
We are 19th in the league in team assists over our last 6 at 23.8.
Yep.
Compared to our season average of 23.3 assists
Got it.
per game.
Got it.
Over the next 6, and we are at Memphis,
Yep.
versus Phoenix, at New Orleans, versus Minnesota, versus Philadelphia, versus Brooklyn. Do you think we're going over under 24 assists per game?
Let me do you a solid, cuz.
Yeah.
You did the same thing this time that you did last time.
What'd I do?
And if you have a feeling, you shouldn't say it in what you propose. And you said you felt like assists are going to have an uptick.
Yeah.
And the line is set at 24,
Which is not
after
enough.
being 23.8.
Yeah, I know.
So you basically told me you wanted the over. And I said, I want that too. And that's why I took the over, because I felt like you're on to something. And I'm not, unless you're
No, well, my error
backdooring
here.
me. I don't know.
Well, I was trying to, but my error was not setting the line high enough. I don't think 0.2 assists
Right.
is representative of the impact that Markelle is going to have. I probably should have set it at 24.3, 24
It would have been a
and a
little
half.
harder to take.
Yeah,
at a
that would have
different
been
thing,
tough,
but
right?
I'm feeling good about the up.
Yeah. Well, you're a
All
bastard.
about the
Continue.
over.
What are you proposing, sir?
To you, I propose. You know how much I love scoring in the paint. I love people scoring down there. It's big for me. And we've outscored our opponent in the paint 4 of the last 5 games. Part of the reason we've had some great success. We're averaging 52.8 in those 5 games. So I'm leaving it right there.
Yeah.
The over under for the next 6, 52.8.
Yeah, I feel good about this one. I'm going under. I don't like to take unders. However, you said in the last 4, we're averaging that 52.8. We've played the Pacers, who they don't even really have a big
Agreed.
man.
Sure.
Houston, Christian Wood is a good offensive player, not the best defender. We're coming up against Steven Adams in Memphis. DeAndre Ayton, not the greatest defender, but definitely gonna. Wendell's going to have his hands full. New Orleans, Jonas Valanciunas, talented offensive player, and just a real son of a bitch. He can get under people's skin. We're going to Karl Anthony Towns, more of an outside-in guy, and then it's Embiid. And I know Mo Bamba dropped whatever he dropped, 8
Embiid's
threes or
soft
something.
in there, though. He's soft.
No. But all Bamba's points were for outside the arc. So I'm going with under. I don't think we'll be as good in the paint. I'm not saying we're not going to be good, but I don't think we're going to be as good as 52.8 points.
We shall see. We shall see. All right. What do you got for me?
Okay, another Markelle themed-ish wager I have for you. We're going turnover to assist ratio. This is another one that I'm hoping Markelle can have a positive impact on. So on the season, we're in 26th place at 1.58 assist to turnover ratio. Our last two, with Markelle back, we're up to 1.65. 17th place. It's 9 places, Peach.
Yep.
So I'm setting the over-under a little bit higher, as we're all getting used to it, at 1.7.
See, this was a much better line for you to set because it was up in the last two that we played against the Pacers.
Right.
So it's a little skewed, and you set the over-under at 1.7, though. But I see the overall assists going to be a little bit more of a factor. And so I'm taking the over here as well. I got three overs.
Yeah. Well, you're having fun. I'm in the loser unders. I don't like the unders. Again, it's the only wager you can lose before the end of the game. I don't like that. And I don't like being under on my team. But what are you going to do? I guess not take unders.
I don't know. We could still win games, and you could get the under.
Yeah, that's
it
true.
Is possible.
I hope that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, you have the last one, Peach. Good luck, ladies and gentlemen out there following this one. You got to explain it to him, Peach.
All right, so this one's a little wacky, but there's no over-under, so that's kind of fun. So there won't be a fourth over for me. So I like to do the things where we draft players or kind of figure out who has the most points and everything at the end. So I'm saying I want to take the starter backup bench that segment that we did earlier and do that with our team. So we've broken them up into 3 different groups here. You can see this lovely graphic that's been created.
Oh, yeah. Look at it. It's beautiful.
We
It's
put
on the board
Chuma
now.
Okeke in the starters because he's been getting more minutes than Mo Bamba. So Mo Bamba has slipped to the backup here. But we're going to do a snake draft. We each get 1 from each thing. And then whoever has the most points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals, all during the next
Total.
6 game, all the total,
Yeah.
will be declared the winner. And I felt like because they're all coming from different groups of minutes that it could be kind of fun. Hopefully there's no weird injury or anything like that makes this not fun, but I like doing all the math at the end, and I think it's kind of fun. We'll do a snake draft so you can start and you pick whatever list you want. You can go, and then I'll get the next 2, and then you'll get the next 2.
But I can only have 1 starter, 1 backup, and 1 bench
One
player.
from each list, correct.
And I'm trying to get the most points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals as a total from all those dudes.
Stuff the stats.
There it is. I'm going to go with WCJ. We talked about being most consistent player. He's, averaging 17 and 11 in the last whatever we said. That's some serious points and rebounds. I think, maybe he doesn't have the potential to be the highest scorer every single game, but he's going to get around 10 boards.
Yeah.
He's going to consistently give me 15 to 20, and there are some I can smell a breakout. Like, he's playing with an edge right now.
Yep.
And I would not be surprised if we see like a 25 to 30 point game for Wendell at some point in the end of the season here.
Are we playing the Bulls again?
So I'm going with Wendell. Hopefully he gets a couple blocks in there. They've been running the offense through him too a lot.
Yeah, I love
So
it when he
his
stands up at
assists.
the top of the key
Yeah.
and kind of figures some stuff out. He's a great passer for a big man.
Absolutely.
So low key, he's going to grab you some assists too. That's a good pick. If I had the first pick, I would have picked Wendell. So I got to go with Franz from the starter group. I just feel like he can drop 28 like he did last night at any time, and he's always around. He's a good passer. He's a good rebounder. So he kind of does a lot of the little things that make him hopefully good enough to offset Wendell in the top.
Yeah, and he can definitely score. Like you said, he can. I wouldn't be surprised to see multiple games high scoring from him. So who do you got next in the backup list? It's between Fultz, T. Ross, Harris, Bamba, and RJ.
Yeah, this one feels like it should be Mo Bamba because he should be averaging a double-double a game, and that should be enough. And then, he's going to get some blocks in there. But I'm going Markelle Fultz.
That's it. I was surprised.
I've listened to this whole show, and I've listened to half of it twice
I've
now.
convinced you?
And you've convinced me. I want Markelle Fultz. I think at some point he could even become the starter in this 6 games, like maybe towards the end of it, and hopefully get some more minutes. But he's been effective with the minutes he is getting.
Seriously.
And I like where he's going. I like the ceiling, and I've bet on Mo Bamba several times in pursuit of this championship and never come out good. And since I stopped betting on him, the title hangs here.
Yes,
so I can't do it, and I'm going with Markelle Fultz. Now you've got the next two. Pick your backup and then
Okay.
bench.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with who you passed over.
Yep.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
All right.
You
wow.
hear that, Mo?
Look at this.
Piece 3 out.
Look at this.
And I provided you a place to stay. And you're welcome here, Mo. So I want you to take Shaq's advice. Go down low, big man. Use that 7'10" wingspan. Talk to Rolo, get a little hook jumper, and get those rebounds, baby. Go off for Embiid for another 30. Who knows?
I mean, I'm for that. I mean, I want that too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I'll go with Mo. Hopefully he plays well coming up. I mean, Chuma has been eating his minutes a lot, deservedly so. So we'll see how that goes. On the bench, I'm going to go with Admiral. It seems like he's been getting some burn there a little bit.
Yeah, he's been playing.
Yeah, he's been playing a little bit. I think he's been getting the most minutes here. You know, Isaac is on here, Bol. Neither of those guys are probably going to play. Rolo just hasn't really been getting much.
Right.
And Iggy's there. But who else is there is Moritz. And I don't know. I just don't know his health status right now.
Right.
So I'm going with Admiral.
I don't know his status either. I've had some rib issues, and I know sometimes it's a lot more painful than it should be. Just it hurts everything, the way you move and everything. But I'm going to take Moritz because I think he's going to come back at some point. He's been looking very German quarterly on the sideline, looking all very GQ.
Yeah.
Looks good. Definitely the snappiest dresser I've seen courtside so far this year.
Oh, you're not a fan of the Sweatsuit Mafia?
No. Pass.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to come back, and even if he only plays 3 of this series, he could put up way more points than Admiral.
True.
Which would really help me because he'll basically become a backup at that point and be our backup.
Yeah,
big.
you're right.
So
yeah.
I'm just kind of banking on him coming back.
Yeah.
Hopefully he does.
I hope you're right, man. I want him back in the lineup too. Well, we'll see.
I hope we all win.
Yeah, let's all just happily kumbaya, motherfucker. Yeah, so Court Cousins Championship. We'll see how that goes, and hopefully that puppy comes to my side of the studio. I'll find somewhere. Don't you worry, Peach. But we had another champion. We have another champion to crown, Peach. At the beginning of our last episode, we wanted to do something, a gesture to thank everyone who's been subscribing to the YouTube or following us on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you're listening or viewing this. So we decided to do a little contest for this beautiful, classic pinstripe penny jersey. So what we're going to do right now, we have all the names of people that subscribed and commented on the last video loaded up, and we're going to spin that wheel. Here we go.
Holy jeez, we're capturing. Okay, we are capturing here. We've got our people on the wheel, and it is time to spin. Who we got on there today? We're going to go ahead and list them all off. We got your Stephen Elmore, your Jill Kay, your Geraint and Amy Jones. You got your Tim Nauman, JT Mohav, Magic Player History, Yoel Escobales, Chris Pedrones, Chris Bryant, Conrad Carmos, and Eric Mendez. Now let's spin the wheel and see who wins. It's Eric Mendez, who wrote in and said that his favorite was the classic black pinstripe. Congratulations, Eric. We'll be in touch.
All right. Well, congratulations to our winner. We'll be sending that to you promptly. Look out for your messages. We're going to be reaching out to you to get your info and all that. Well, Peach, I think that's a wrap on the first Magic Court Cousins studio show.
Yeah, it was so nice we did it twice. I didn't hate it. It is a little cold in here, but it's fun, and they're all going to hopefully be from now on.
Yep.
Good things are coming, and you know what? Knock it off, Putin.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
Thanks for coming.